And we're no fools. So we sent people to sign up to be Uber drivers to see if they could get through the background check.
Just to see
how we found registered sex offenders
How
and
did you
people
find
with
them?
I don't want to know. And people with convictions for violent crimes. I don't want to know why we know those people.
Wow.
I just don't want to know. Nobody will tell me, and I don't want to know.
Wow.
But they all made it through Uber's theoretical background screening.
Wow.
And so we were like, you know what, Uber? We're going to do the background screening.
I hear you.
The cops are going to do the background screening. Lyft is only in the U.S., right? They haven't gone international yet.
Right.
So I wrote a letter to the CEO of Lyft saying, so want to come?
Oh, yeah.
We'd be happy to have you, because I don't think you're a dick.
Lyft, I like Lyft.
Yeah, are they
Everybody likes Lyft. The drivers like Lyft. The riders like Lyft. You know what I'm saying?
And, but he has not yet responded to my letter, but apparently a spokesperson told the media in Calgary, we don't really like those regulations. So we are having a very interesting situation right now.
Okay.
Now, you drive for Lyft. Do you
I
also
drive for
do you
Lyft,
also drive
and
for Uber?
I also drive for Uber.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So, Uber, there's no polite way of saying this, have a brilliant business model and are dicks.
Now we're getting somewhere. Team Ubers are dicks. Now, I got my reasons for calling them dicks.
Yeah, do you as well?
I do,
Are they forever
but I'm a
increasing their
driver.
commission
I'm a driver, so I do agree with the dick shit that you're saying to an extent. But you tell me, being the mayor of Calgary, what you probably know something that I don't know.
They are the worst.
Why are they dicks, really?
They are honestly the worst people in the world to do.
Uber's the worst people in the world.
I have never dealt with people like this before.
So explain to me, what makes them so
In
bad?
fact, I was at a conference and I met Travis, right? You know, the CEO. And I was like, oh, it's because you're a dick.
Calgary's mayor, Naheed Nenshi, has achieved another milestone in his illustrious career. He has spent $236,000 of taxpayers' money on public art at a sewage treatment plant. I'm not kidding. I wish I were, but I'm not. It's called the Forest Lawn Lift Station because it lifts sewage up to allow gravity to take it to a water treatment plant. So it literally pumps dirty toilet water. And then she has spent $236,000 of taxpayers' money turning that into public art. Here, I've just got to read to you from Nenshi's City of Calgary website explaining why, in the middle of a recession, with 40,000 people in the oil patch losing their jobs, so far this year alone, with unemployment jumping, with wages falling, I just got to read to you Nenshi's explanation for spending $250,000 lighting up a sewage pump. Here, let me quote this. This is just gorgeous. Enticed by the anonymous structures found throughout our urban landscape. Watershed Plus lead artists, Science Façon, focused on the process of revealing. Part of a much larger system, the lift station provided an opportunity to dissect how people in urban neighborhoods connect to and understand the importance of water in their daily lives. Yeah, see, that's the thing about flushing a toilet. We really don't want to see what happens next. We really don't want to dissect it or connect to it. We want it to be hidden away. We don't need our sewers to light up when there's new crap in them. We don't want that for free. We don't want that for $236,000 doing boom times. But these aren't boom times in Calgary. These are recession times in Calgary. These are unemployment times. But to Naheed Nenshi, Calgary's big spending mayor, $250,000 to celebrate sewage is just proof that he's a world-class mayor with world-class urban art. And taxpayers in Calgary, they should know their place, and that's to shut up and just keep paying for his personal indulgences. What set off Nenshi yesterday? See, on Friday, Pembina's chief lobbyist named Ed Whittingham had told the Calgary Herald that his lobby group doesn't just send staff to work for the city of Calgary and bill them. They try to persuade the mayor of their environmentalist policies too. They bend his ear. Here's what Whittingham said, and I quote, "Have we ever spoken to an alderman or the mayor about an issue when we've rubbed shoulders at an event? Yes, but have we sat down as a lobbyist? No, that's not what we do." Well, that actually is what you do, Ed, because meeting with politicians to convince them of something like getting rid of oil and gas is lobbying. And you know that too, Ed, because you and a bunch of others from your lobby group have registered with the Federal Lobbyist Registry as lobbyists. I mean, you can see right here, that's your name at the top, Ed, Chief Lobbyist. And you just told the Calgary Herald that you talk policy with Naheed Nenshi when you see him. That is the legal definition of lobbying ad. Except Nenshi has never reported those meetings or any other meetings with Pembina. I just asked him again, and a bit firmer. I mean, given that he's campaigning for re-election, given that he gave such a strong endorsement of Pembina last week, what's the deal? Or as I put it to him, and you can see for yourself, will you disclose whether any Pembina staff are working on your election campaign or have donated to you? Is this a quid pro quo? I mean, a yes or no would do. I'm a journalist, he's a politician, he's the one who engaged me yesterday, which is sort of weird. Okay, fine, clear the air, what's the deal? And then we saw Nenshi's mask slip. We saw that second face of Naheed Nenshi, the rage, the how dare you challenge me, you mere citizen. Here's what he said, and I quote, "When did you stop beating your wife?" That's what he said. Can you believe that? When did you stop beating your wife? Beg your pardon? You're a politician who claims to be whistle clean, Mr. Transparency, who claims to take questions from the common people by Twitter, but who's on alibi number 3 already for why he paid $340,000 to anti-oil lobbyists, who's already calling me names, you know, lazy or whatever he called me. So you get another question and you don't like it, so you just snap and you go freaky weird and accuse me of a crime of spousal assault? Whoa. That's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's Naheed Nenshi. Most of the time, Nenshi's sweet as saccharine, but every once in a while, he's just raging, like blood vessels sticking out of his forehead and neck kind of rage. Whoa, buddy, a simple yes or no to my question would do. So much for Mr. Bring Back Civility to Politics, Mr. Inspire the Next Generation. Now, I pointed out to Nenshi that I have never hit my wife or any other person ever. Well, since I hit Lenny Berkovitz in grade 4, but he was a foot taller than me and he was wearing one of those puffy jackets that I don't even think he felt it. Who the hell accuses someone of beating their wife? I mean, isn't that the stereotypical, cliched, most offensive accusation pretending to be a question you could ask? Is that really the proper response to a journalist asking a valid question of a political leader in an election campaign? I mean, I was firm, to be sure, but I wasn't rude. But I had made the cardinal sin of challenging His Holiness, Naheed Nenshi. How dare I embarrass him by challenging his transparency or his ethics? Anyways, I answered his question. No, I hadn't ever hit anyone. Now, could he please answer my question? Oh, let me tell you how Naheed Nenshi handles media dissent. Remember this guy, Artur Pavlovsky? He has a Christian ministry for homeless folks in Calgary. Basically, he goes to the alleys, the underpasses, the parks, to where the homeless people are, and he feeds them food, and he gives them sleeping bags and preaches a little gospel. And he has been charged and prosecuted endlessly by Calgary city government. Close to 100 court appearances, seriously, for a pastor. Even as Nenshi allowed Occupy Calgary to camp out in a park illegally for more than a month, they kept arresting and charging Artur Pavlovsky. Sorry, that's an anti-Christian double standard. That's called bigotry. They even arrested Pavlovsky for singing Christmas carols in public in the big atrium of City Hall without a permit. I kid you not. You know, you'd think a mayor who himself is a religious minority would be more tolerant than that. So I said all of these things on the show a while back, and holy cow, did we get a massive volcanic eruption from Rage Boy Nenshi. He called up the Calgary Sun's publisher and demanded justice. And then he sent a spit-flecked legal demand letter, 2 pages long, just furious that a newspaper and a TV show would dare to criticize His Holiness and dare to accuse him of intolerance towards Artur Pavlovsky. Well, you bet we did. And I'll do it again as long as it's true. Here, let me quote some of my favorite parts from Nenshi's letter. I'm just going to quote a few lines. "I am writing to you to express my extreme disappointment with respect to the publication of the article in the Toronto Sun, followed by an appearance on Sun News TV, where he called me a bigot, anti-Christian, and socialist, and gave out my email address on the air." Sorry, buddy, you are a socialist. You believe in big government. You hike taxes. Some of your biggest donors are City Hall public sector unions, like the Transit Union. No wonder you give away the store to them in union contract negotiations. And I'm sorry, you are a bigot. City Hall's lawyer, under your direction, prosecutes that poor Christian pastor because he doesn't have a food preparation permit for giving food to the homeless or for singing Christmas carols. You would never do that to a Muslim group or to Occupy Calgary. And yeah, I gave out your email address. You're the mayor. I'm going to give it out again today, too. Now, I won't read all of Nenshi's letter. I'm just going to choose a few of my favorite words from Rage Boy. Extreme disappointment. Serious problems. I am shocked. This accusation is so offensive. It is impossible to ignore the racist undertones of this column. I have no problems with a columnist voicing his opinions. I have a very big problem. I am particularly disappointed. Offensive, disgusting, personally insulting. Oh, and this is my favorite. My life's work has been about bringing people from different communities together. I cannot stand by. I cannot hide my disappointment. A gratuitous and need to be said again untrue swipe at my personal life. Oh, yeah, I like that last part. From the guy who called me a wife beater. Say, do you think that Nenshi's a little bit thin-skinned, maybe just a little bit? Do you think that if this is truly how he feels, that maybe going into public office isn't the right fit for him? Maybe being a professor where he gets to do all the talking, maybe that's a better place for him? But look, that's just the whining. That's the funny part of his letter. Here's the darker part, the real rage part. That first part was more whiny, complaining part. But here's the second part, the part that Nenshi probably doesn't want you to know about. See, yesterday during our online quarrel, I asked Nenshi several times, and his lawyer, Chima Nakendram, if they would consent to the release of this letter, or if I could, or how many other demand letters like it they've sent out to other reporters. No answer. I asked them 4 times. Nenshi kept talking to me online about other things, but he pretended not to see my 4 questions about this letter. And here's the dark part. He threatened me and the Sun if we ever dared to challenge him publicly again. Not just a threat of telling us how sad we made him, like that funny stuff I just read, but a legal threat. Again, I won't read the whole thing. He's almost as chatty as I am, his 2-page letter. But here are some excerpts from his letter. I cannot stand by and let QMI, that's Quebecor, the company that owns us, and let QMI defame my character without a response. I will require the following. QMI will fully retract the column and apologize for calling me a bigot. An unqualified apology. An acknowledgement that this is part of a pattern of behavior by Mr. Levant. A clear statement that opinion columnists are not, in fact, exempt from the requirement to write the truth. This retraction must be published in all QMI newspapers on the highest circulation day of the week. It must be further highlighted on all Sun newspaper and Sun News Network websites. The video clips of Mr. Levant's interview with Mr. Pavlovsky must be removed from all QMI online properties. QMI will publish an unedited response from me, Naheed Nenshi, if I choose to submit one. And then the or else moment in his letter, get this. Should QMI fail to retract the column and apologize, I will not hesitate to explore all of the options available to me. Now, given that he mentions lawyers and defamation earlier in the letter, I take that to mean he'll sue. Now, of course, we didn't give in to these demands because, how do I put this? I'm allowed to have a different opinion than he has. I'm allowed to call City Hall's war against Dr. Pavlovsky bigotry. I'm allowed to call high-tax Nenshi a socialist. I put forward plenty of evidence to support my opinions, but at the end of the day, even if I'm the only person in the world with my opinions, it's still my right to have that opinion. What do you think of Naheed Nenshi, of his wife-beating insult, of his threat letter to the Sun demanding that we stop making him so sad? Send me a note with your thoughts to thesource@sunmedia.ca. I'd love to read them. But send Nenshi an email too. He's at themayor@calgary.ca. Let him know what you think of his behavior, if it's fitting for a grown-up.